are back with springtime in human form. Master Gardener Carrie Petty.
I love that.
Every time I'm around you, I just instantly feel happier.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm so excited to talk about growing indoors, right?
Yes, right. It's time. It's like, I came in this morning, I said, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas for the gardener. It's here. It's time. It's now. We are 10 weeks out from our last hard frost date. So that's a real marker in gardening world. And I think one of the things, I was driving down here, one of the things that keeps me so happy is growing. You know, keeping my hands in the soil, keeping connected with the things that are alive. And today we're going to talk about the seeds and how you propagate with seeds and you start them indoors. Last time, Kayla, when I was on with you about 3 weeks ago, we talked about forcing branches. And these are those exact branches that I brought.
They're beautiful.
That were just in bud and they were shut up and now they're open. This is an azalea from my garden that I just forced. So inside, it brings me a lot of happiness. But on the All Indiana Podcast Network, my most recent podcast gives you the instructions on how to force branches inside, how to bring some bulbs, and how to get that green vibe going in your life right now. But when it comes to planting seeds, you were curious about this.
I was.
Well, after these go to bloom and finish blooming, they'll create seeds. So I save seeds every single year, and then I shed them and I store them in the refrigerator in their little bags. But the way you want to know if these are viable is on a paper towel. You put the seeds, because they may not germinate. Sometimes seeds just don't go because they're living things. Yeah, that's the most important thing about a seed. They are alive. But you put this paper towel on there and you keep it moist, keep it in a nice warm place, dark or light, doesn't matter. But in a few days, they should be swelling, popping open, then they're ready to go. That's how you know if you've got old seeds or new seeds, if you've kept some.
That is so much fun. You know, it is honestly a magical experience. Even though we all know, we learned in science class, you know, how this all works. To this day, I'm 30 years old and I'm still like, oh my gosh, it's growing. You know, it's that feeling, it never gets old.
You sound like a Disney princess when you said that. Can you do that again?
I feel like a Disney princess.
It's growing. I love that.
I feel like the birds are going to be singing to me when I'm growing.
But the thing I love is about the timing. You're right. It's not only the joy, but it's winter's over. In my mind, as a gardener, it's like it's spring. We have 20 days until the vernal equinox, which happens on the 20th at 5:24 p.m. Eastern time. And so that's so cool to me. It's like you can't really be sad in life. Okay, take these. Okay. And this is a great way to teach kids how to grow. A lot of people have seen this on the TikTok and the Facebook, and this is called winter sowing. And this makes a little greenhouse. So you put the soil in here and then dump these in. Yep, sprinkle them all around. Sprinkle. Yep. And this is called winter sowing. It is my goal to grow more flowers this year. Okay. And this is stock from Baker Creek Seeds. But the timing on seeds is everything. All your instructions are on the back. Everything's here, if they're expired or not. So then once you get your seeds in, right, you want to kind of dust over them or cover them with just a little layer of soil because the birds will get them if they're out in the open. But we're talking about growing indoors. But you don't want to water like this because, look, we're displacing the seeds. You want to mist. You want to moisten the soil gently with a nice mist. Get it misted, get it. And then cover it up. Put the name on here. This happens to be garden flower stock. And then wrap it with a little duct tape after you put, thank you. Wrap it with a little duct tape. Close it all the way up. We won't do that now because the duct tape doesn't want to work. But close it up, and there you go, and take the top off, and you have a little greenhouse.
Oh, that's so
And
cute.
I do this for everything. I do this for sweet peas. I do this for spinach. I do this now. Super easy way to recycle, be sustainable, use what we have, inexpensive. You know, you can use the expensive stuff, but the other thing I love, too, is I collect terracotta pots, and I'm very French country in my style, so this old wine cart and these terracotta pots are absolutely fantastic to start seeds. But some things that you want to do to make sure that you're really successful in your seed growing is make sure you have a sterilized soil medium, and that'll just be easy, a bag that says seed soil. Okay? And you want to make sure your pots are sterilized so that the fungus and anything that could attack the little babies, these are babies. I pretended. These are not real germinated seeds, but the little babies, let's say this is a little baby. Okay, and she's coming up. Well, you want to be sure that her environment is as sterile and as healthy as possible. One really cool thing when your seeds come up is to run your hand over them, and it sends a chemical down to the roots because it's like simulating wind, and it makes the roots stronger, like the mighty
that is so
oak.
cool.
Just like us, when we get shaken a little bit, our roots need to get stronger in the soil or in our foundation, right? That's the thing I love about gardening is it's very symbolic to our life. And so once she starts coming up, put them in the sunshine, start watering them every day. Don't get them too wet. A good soil tester is great. And you're off to the races. And then you'll transplant it out into a bigger pot or into the garden when it's time.
Amazing. I love listening to you talk about gardening. The podcast, once again.
Yeah, on the All Indiana Podcast Network. It's called Growing a Beautiful Life. And it's my motto, really, I think, in life to just show people that it's not so bad out there. And there's so much to be thankful for. And there's so many beautiful things. And God shows me those beautiful things when I'm in the garden. So I just want to show them to other people.
And, you know, we actually have been having wonderful sunshine in the month of February. I am loving it, bringing me so much joy, just like Carrie Petty does. Thank you so much, Carrie.
You're a sweetheart.
Randy,
Thank you.
let's talk about this rare weather we're having in February.